Namaskar everyone. So welcome to Monday. And as you can see, we are in the midst of gray. And you can see in the hills the gray nature of it. Yeah, there we are. It's a gray day today. So welcome again to the balcony, everyone. The light is a little different today, but nonetheless enjoyable as always. Yeah, so happy Monday to all of you. My dear friends, all part of myself. So let's begin with centering in the silence. You can keep the eyes open because the view is beautiful no matter where you are. It's a wonderful world. It's the world of the senses. Yeah, light and color and sound and smells and touch and the senses come alive. But it's most important to center in the silence of being and to view everything from there, not reacting to things, but flowing with it, as we say. Let's center in that silence. Truly appreciating the air that we breathe into the body and the pranas that we bring to the vital body. Rejoicing in the breath. Wherever you are, rejoice in the breath. It's wonderful to be able to breathe and to breathe fully. Many people struggle in terms of breathing when the lungs are challenged. And when you can center in chakras and feel the prana center of every chakra, then you'll realize that you're also breathing prana as you breathe oxygen into the lungs at the same time. Two different dimensions. Just take a moment to breathe deeply. I can experience my world differently when I do. And I'm stabilizing in the energy centers. You need to get to know them more, to be familiar with them, and to be able to act in and through them in your awareness, and not just be physically identified. I want to stay on the subject of yesterday, which is waking up. And we tend to think in terms of timelines in this dream that we call a waking state. Jagrat is a state of consciousness. It's no different to the dream that we have when we are sleeping and the imagination is at work, the mind is at work in the subtle space, and the ego continues its dream play. It's no different. One is the longer dream, one is the shorter dream. But nonetheless, they have the same kind of substance, change, energy, illusionary energy that we call Maya. It wraps the consciousness into this illusory existence. When you get caught in it and you hold it as reality, it can challenge you to the core. Because all the things that you hope and expect and wish and desire may not be fulfilled in the way that you want to, because it's a karmic play and it's determined by the karmas. That's why Bhagavad Gita says, your right is to work, but not to the outcomes. Your right is to activity, to be active, but not to the outcomes. Outcomes belong to the karmic play. So when you hold that awareness, then you learn to enjoy whatever you do in the moment. The outcome is as it will be. So learn to enjoy what you're doing. Be happy while eating, be happy while working. Be happy while interacting. Be happy. Choose to be happy. It's a choice that we make. Not to give our power away to the world, but stay in the center of our own power. And learn to appreciate change. Those of us who are unable to appreciate change, we have lots of difficulties. So the thing that I want to say today is about the waking up in the dream. So the idea is that you don't leave the dream, but you wake up in it. So the dream elements continue to be there, the senses continue to be there, the physical body and its changing nature continues to be there. But all you do is that you wake up in the consciousness, you see life differently. So it is to wake up in the consciousness to see life differently. That's what a waking up is. It's waking up from ignorance or darkness and really being able in the same space with the same dream objects to see differently, to interpret differently, to interact differently. So that's what a waking up is, becoming more conscious and being more deeply centered. So it's all about the centering. Does it make sense, everybody? That if your consciousness changes, the way you see the world becomes different. You wake up to a new reality. When you begin to feel the subtle nature of things and can feel a tree as living energy, living presence, or feel a person as a living presence, don't bother about the content of the mind, but what is behind. Then you have a different consciousness of reality, because you begin to see the reality of the subtle world. Of course, it's a apparent reality, because even the subtle world is in change, in flux. Your thought, the contents of your mind, your dreams, your aspirations, they're all in all of the subtle body. So it's important to change the center of seeing. A change in perception changes the way you see things around you. Reality shifts. I would say in my entire spiritual journey, all that happened is that my consciousness has shifted. The dream world continues to be there for me, but I interact differently. I'm not afraid of the dream world. I interacted in the dream world that everything is an expression of infinite consciousness. So how can I be negative towards the play? It's unthinkable in my being. I totally appreciate the play. There's no death. There's only change. And that which we are, the center of conscious being, is beyond change. Can you appreciate that? That the center of conscious being is beyond change. But the joy is that if you are if you are interacting with the ignorant mind and the materialistic mind every day, when you are mixing with that kind of energy, You become caught in it, carried away by it. But when you mix with a different kind of crowd, when you mix with more evolved people or associate with more evolved people, you have a tendency to shift differently. I remember, and just to show you how the mind works, for a year I worked in the southern part of the country, and I used to travel with taxi. Of course, I was already in this state. And when I sit in my taxi, it's about an hour's journey. I just relax. And of course, the taxi driver will have the radio playing. And it's carnival time, and to that. And there are the calypso rhythms. And of course, I want for rhythm. Content, forget the content. And so I just sit there and enjoy. Of course, I'm in no conflict with the music, calypso rhythm, soul rhythm. And I'm just resting there in peacefulness, joyfulness. when I'd be in my bed in the night time, those same rhythms would come up in my mind. Because I accepted them. I made them part of my play, so they'd come up in the mind. And even the content that I wasn't interested at all in, they'd come up in my mind too. So it just shows when we associate with different things, how it can infiltrate our being so unconsciously. That was interesting. So I had to shift my thought into where I wanted to be before I sleep. So that was interesting. So we need to be careful of the kind of people we associate with. But even if you associate with a crowd that you can't or you don't like, but you can't help it, be in it, but not off it. You know that statement, right? Be in the world, but not off the world. So you have to learn to be in it. Don't reject it. Don't oppose it. Be in it, but don't be off it. That your inner world can stay as you want it to be. So coming back to the waking up, it's really waking up in consciousness and being in the right kind of audience, the right kind of group, right kind of associations. You can evolve in a beautiful way, and also keeping the right kind of thoughts. And I was thinking that I know that you love when I give a new message or a new meditation. But I think the real trick in the sadhana is going back to the ones that you like and resonate with deeply in my talks or in my meditations, in the practices. Go back to what excites you, what resonates with you, what appeals to you, and stay with that until you have really mastered it, until it has become part of you. That's what the sadhana is. Although you may listen to my other talks and enjoy them, but go back to the ones that really lift you and hold you. And put them in a special place in the archive that you can visit them continuously. Use it for bedtime. Use it for waking up in the morning. Use it for any time during the day that you want to lift. And this will slowly create new patterns in your consciousness, and also help to bring the grace to shift the consciousness, because in listening to me continuously, you begin to realize that there are deeper levels at which I'm communicating. And then you can really begin to experience that. There is no greater teacher than a way to teach, a way of teaching, than association, apprenticeship, being in closeness to. And that's what Upanishad means, the book of wisdom of the Hindus, the sacred book. It's about sitting together, sitting close by together. And so it's a book of question and answers. It's a beautiful book, or books, and the Upanishad, covering various subjects where the teacher and the student relating together. being together, sitting together, so that there's nothing better than that apprenticeship. And of course, being together doesn't really only mean physically together, but holding the presence of the Master. And there's a Master within you. When you begin to wake up that Master, you will delight in oneness with me and what I'm saying, my presence, everything. There'll be so much oneness. There'll be as if I'm speaking through you. I remember in the people who really begin to become conscious, when they speak, I simply want to be silenced, because that's the voice of the self. That's the voice of the spirit. So when they're speaking, I just resonate with it and feel that I'm speaking too. I don't need to speak with a voice when the self is speaking through another. It's me as well. And I absolutely love the writings of Khalil Gibran. The Prophet is really a masterpiece, and on my seeking days, it's a book I found in the library. And I really appreciate every word in that book. Oh my God, I thought that, oh, what if I had to write, this is the way it will flow. And I truly love the book. That and the words are crystallized in my mind. And the way he speaks about time, the way he speaks about love, the way he speaks about work and worship, all marvelous. Truly, truly inspired work. Yeah, so this is Monday. I simply wanted to say that we don't change a dream. We wake up in the dream. We become more conscious in the dream. So, and I just said how to wake up. So let's do a little bit of that waking up. Let's enter in that space. Now we can go to the deepest place that we can in the consciousness, in the silence, in the peacefulness, in the lovingness, in the awareness of vitality. Just breathe into these qualities. As you center in the mind, center in the heart, center in the gut, center in the body. I center myself in the source of my being. That source of infinite peace, love, goodness, wisdom, and possibilities. I stay centered there, that my every thought, every word, every action in this day be a blessing to my world, be a source of uplift to community. I give thanks for all the blessings I've received. And I continue to pray to stay aligned to divine flow. Om Shanti, peace. Shanti, peace. Shanti, peace. Have a great day, everyone. Don't be afraid of the Maya. Wake up from the Maya, even though you're in the Maya. Happy Monday, everybody. Namaskar.